So if you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering, what are admission categories? I thought that if I applied for this program, this is going to be my program for the next 4 years. Well, that's not necessarily the case. In this video, we're going to break down the big 6 admission categories of the Faculty of Arts and Science at the University of Toronto. So there are actually 3 main websites that I fully recommend you can go on to get more information about either your admission program or your program of study, which you don't need to worry about until the end of your first year really. And there's also the UofT calendar where you can get all information about different programs of study and stuff. But in this video, we're not even going to touch on programs of study, posts, whatever. We're not even going to touch on it. We're going to focus on the 6 admission categories at the Faculty of Arts and Science. So if you don't know me, I'm actually a student in the Faculty of Arts and Science through the Life Science stream. So as I mentioned before, there are a lot of websites where you can gain a lot of information about programs of study, etc. But in this video, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the admission categories. So the main website that I want to refer to you is the Faculty of Arts and Science admission categories website. Very straightforward, but I'm actually going to show you how to navigate this website so that you'll know where to get the wealth of information if you want to go into Rotman Commerce, Life Science, Humanities, Social Science, Physical and Mathematical Sciences, or Computer Science. Without any further ado, let's get started. So the website that I'm talking about and I will be going through for the next couple of minutes will be linked down below in the description box. And when you first get into the website, you will see University of Toronto, Faculty of Arts and Science, and you will see admission categories. And you will see a video right here that says admission categories. So as you can see there are more than 300 academic program choices. So you can definitely mix and match different programs to suit how you want your undergraduate career to look like and how you want it to go. So these 300 academic programs are then divided into the 6 admission categories. And so as I mentioned before, there's Comp Sci, Humanities, Life Sci, Physical and Math, Rotman, and Social Sciences. And first, let's go into Computer Science. So obviously, if you're interested in Computer Sciences, you'll be applying into this category. It lists down here things that you need to know. And there are actually admission requirements. So of course, if you're applying to the University of Toronto, you may already know that you're applying through UofT, which is a different website. But right here, we're just going to focus more on the admission categories. So this is the admission code, TAD. So for computer science, you actually require a supplemental application, which is also similar to Rotman Commerce, but we're not going to get to that here. So if you are considering applying to computer sciences, then there is a supplemental application, but the prerequisites for the program are only English and calculus. So on a technicality, you don't really need computer science experience before getting into the computer science program. But it is very, 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 very highly recommended that you do have computer science experience, or you've taken some courses in high school that's associated with computer science. So I do want to clarify that the reason why you only need English and calculus when you want to apply for the computer science admission stream is because depending on your previous programming experience, you're either going to take these courses or you're going to take these courses. There are so many computer science courses available to you at the University of Toronto, so you do have a chance to build up your experience throughout your first year, and if need be, then your second year, etc. So to be able to be admitted into the computer science program, the admission range is actually low 90s, which is pretty high. It does mention here that the supplemental application will be found in the Join UofT account after you have applied through UofT. So there are 4 short answer questions and you'll be asked to reflect on personal experience and qualities, but these questions are not necessarily specific to computer science. So I do want to highlight one thing here is that selecting an alternate category doesn't affect your eligibility into your first choice category. For me, when I was applying to the University of Toronto, I actually applied to both life science and to the kinesiology program. So applying to one program doesn't affect your eligibility for a different program, although some programs are not available as an alternate choice. So for example, for me, life science was my first choice and kinesiology was my second choice. And because I chose kinesiology as my alternate program, that doesn't affect my eligibility to get into the life science program. But I do want to highlight here that if you're applying to apply to computer science, then Rotman Commerce is actually not available as an alternate choice. But with that said, you can actually choose the other 4 arts and science admission categories. So life science, physical and mathematical sciences, humanities, and social sciences are all eligible to be your alternate choice of program. So unfortunately, because computer science is very competitive, they will not be considering applicants who are seeking to transfer from one university or college to the University of Toronto Computer Sciences program. So one of the things I want to highlight about the uniqueness of the computer sciences program is that they do have the PEY opportunity, which is more commonly associated with the engineering science program. There is a PEY year, or the professional experience year, which is essentially a co-op program that's available at the University of Toronto. And this is where students can work full-time for 12 or 16 months after 2nd or 3rd year. But there are also opportunities where you can work with a professor on a research or development project. So now we're going into the Rotman Commerce admission category, which is also a very competitive program. And so this is the admission code for UofT, and there is also a supplementary application form required for acceptance into the Rotman Commerce program. Similar to the computer sciences program, you need English and calculus to be able to be considered for the Rotman Commerce admission category. With that said, I want to emphasize that even if you do meet the prerequisite requirements, this doesn't necessarily guarantee you admission. I want to say that again. Even if you do meet the prerequisite requirements for computer science and Rotman Commerce, this doesn't necessarily guarantee your admission into the program, because there is a supplemental application portion for these 2 programs, which makes them very unique and also very competitive. So for Rotman Commerce, the admission range is actually mid to high 80s. So they will consider you into the program if your high school average was in the mid to high 80s. If you do want to apply to the Rotman Commerce program, you can also choose a second admission category. Students who are applying for the Rotman Commerce program may not be able to select computer science as their alternate choice program. But again, you can choose from humanities, life science, physical and mathematical sciences, or social sciences. So once again, because Rotman Commerce does have limited capacity and it's a very competitive program, Rotman Commerce does not accept transfer students from other institutions, unfortunately. They do list some reasons as to why you should study Rotman Commerce at Arts and Science. A couple of unique things is that they do have career coaching services, and they also have exclusive networking opportunities. So some of the things I've seen for the people I know who are in the Rotman Commerce program is that they have a lot of networking opportunities. They have a lot of different events and also a lot of clubs that they've joined that would allow them to network with other people, also career coaching services. So if we do click on the Rotman Commerce Career Services here, we are redirected to a Rotman Commerce website. You can go through career preparation stuff, job posting, the employer information sessions, one-on-one career coaching. And also career workshops and career exploration. So there's actually this website that University of Toronto students are able to go to where they can learn about how to write a resume, or how to do an interview in this style, or how to do MMI interviews. There are also a lot of different events and information sessions about careers, exploring your interests. It's just this really useful website where you can also find jobs. It's very cool. You don't have to be in the Faculty of Arts and Science to be able to use this service, which is very, very useful. It's just an amazing website. Okay, so now that we've gone over computer science and Rotman Commerce, which are the only 2 admission categories that do require supplemental applications, we are now going to the other 4 admission categories that actually do not require supplemental application. And because I am a life science student, we are going to life sciences first. So this is the life science admission category. So of course, if you're interested in healthcare research that's focused in biological sciences, you may want to consider the life science admission category. So I'm just going to pull up. As you can see, there's no supplemental application, so there's no long list of requirements and instructions of how to do so. So this is the UofT code. If you don't believe me, I am highlighting it right now. You do not need a supplementary application for the life science program. And similarly to Comp Sci and Rotman, for the life science program, you do need English and calculus as prerequisites to be able to satisfy their admission program requirements. For the life science program, the admission range is low to mid 80s. So if your overall average So if your overall average falls in the low to mid 80s, then you may be accepted into the life science admission stream at the University of Toronto. And once again, for all the admission categories, they do list all of the admission requirements by curriculum. So for me, I did take the IB program. This is the IB program requirements, and these are just like some general admission requirements. I do want to reiterate, so for example, if you're like me and you did the IB program in high school, the IB program diploma and the certificate are not sufficient for admission program consideration. So you really need to fulfill the prerequisite courses and also meet the grade admission threshold. So if you did take IB, I do recommend you to go onto this website. It just specifies as to recommended minimum range for high school subjects if you did take the IB program, and also the recommended minimum range for admission into the program. So in this website, it actually specifies for all admission categories, which is very, very useful. So if you're considering, for example, life science and computer science, then it does list everything here as to which are the required subjects for you and the minimum range for admission, and also the minimum range for required high school subjects. So for going back, so what's unique about life science is that there are so many different programs in the life science stream. So one of the advantages of just being in the life science stream is that there are a lot of different programs that you can choose from. So I'm going to pull on this list. So you can choose anything from biochemistry, animal physiology, biomedical toxicology, which is under pharmacology and toxicology. There's also human biology, and I'm actually a student in the human biology program, taking health and disease as a specialist. So there are actually other programs that are associated with the human biology program, and because of that, the human biology program and division is very, very large. If you're interested in human biology, you can choose from fundamental genetics and its applications, global health, health and disease, and neuroscience. There's also psychology, and you can do research in psychology. There's immunology, nutritional science, and a whole other series of choices. So if you're on this website, you are actually able to click on these videos where students and professors talk about their experience in their programs. So if you do plan to apply into the life science stream, there are a lot of research opportunities. For me, at least, I know that in the specialist program, the reason why I chose it is because there is a research opportunity that is opened up to me. And that's actually one of the main differences as to why people choose to go into the specialist or the major, which is a totally different subject. And if you're interested in me talking about that, then please comment down below and also like this video. And other things that are unique about the life sciences program at UofT is that you can gain practical experience. So now there's actually a new course, at least for me, that was opened up as a health and disease specialist student, where I could choose an experiential learning course, and I'm actually very interested in it, so I'm looking forward to that. And there's a whole list of diverse career options that are available to me because I'm in the life science program. So for example, I am able to consider professional programs after graduating. So for me, I'm not doing the pharmacology and toxicology program at UofT, but that doesn't limit me from applying to pharmacy, because I can still meet the program requirements for pharmacy and pursue that option. So my major or specialist in undergrad doesn't always define what my graduate program is or what I'm pursuing after undergrad. So I know a couple people who did a program in human biology and they did immunology and are considering something in pharmacy, or they're considering something in research. So I just want to reiterate that whatever your program is during undergrad doesn't necessarily mean that that's your program forever. Just because you're in pharmacology and toxicology doesn't mean that you have to pursue pharmacy. You can also pursue research. You can also do a combined major with immunology and decide to pursue something in microbiology. I'm already in my third year of undergrad, and there's so many fields that I haven't even begun to explore. Being in the life science program, it's just there's so many things you can do. It's very easy to feel overwhelmed. Hopefully all of these resources that I'm giving to you and going through the different programs for you, I hope this would be helpful so that applying to UofT or the UofT experience is simpler for you and it's easy to understand. That is the end of the first part of simplifying the big 6 admission categories categories at the Faculty of Arts and Science. If this was useful for you and you enjoyed it and you also want to see the next one, please like this video, comment down below as to which program you're planning to apply to. I also want to emphasize that the deadline to apply to the Faculty of Arts and Science is January 15th. Again, the deadline to apply for the Arts and Science is January 15th. Watch out for the date. As always, take care, stay safe, most importantly, stay groovy. Catch y'all later.